Let's take our right foot forward, left foot back, and then we'll have the weight in the left hand to start here. Okay, so we're gonna square off the hips, get everything nice and square, and then you're gonna hinge the bum back. So you're at a slight forward hinge here, belly button pulling up away from the mat. You can take that right hand or forearm down on your right thigh, hugging the elbow in narrow. We pull the weight up towards us and then carefully lower back down. So it's a nice narrow row. We're long at the back of the spine. Shoulders are rolled down and back. And you're not really thinking like pinching the shoulder blade as you find this row. The blades are staying relatively stable on the back. Okay. Amazing. Let's do one more. Hugging, elbow in. Now hold that there. Start to take the elbow out wide and then hug the elbow in. Emphasis on the press out and then allow it to glide back in. As you find that press out, can you keep that left shoulder away from the left ear? Feeling how rotator cuff is working here. All right, one more. Holding it wide now. We lower down and then pull the elbow wide. Maybe we've lost connection to our core and started to dump down into that right forearm. Even if that right forearm is there in this hinge position, I want you to stay relatively light on it and always think about lifting up and in through the belly button, away from the mat. We've got one more wide row. Hold, this time emphasis on the hug in and then glide out wide. Hug in and glide out wide. Can you feel that? Feel serratus as you hug the elbow in. All of that beautiful musculature supporting upper body. Last two. Whew. All right, last one. Holding that hug. We grow tall through the spine. Start to press that weight overhead and then back to the shoulder. Now, I want you to feel that connection still, keeping that elbow narrow, hugged into the body. Can you find your serratus anterior? Can you find your lat underneath the armpit, not just top of shoulder as you press overhead? Just arm is moving. Watch those front ribs. They don't flare out as you press. All right, we've got one more. Holding this press. I know, starting to burn out there. Start to shift and twist so that right hand can tap down towards the mat. You look up at that weight. And then there's that balance. Come back to center. Okay, start to shift and twist. Maybe you take that right hand out beside you as you come up, or you can come back to the hip, all right? We've got three more. Whoo. Lift up and in through this left oblique. Last one. Now bend the arm in. Take the weight down to the floor. We're gonna step the right toes back, step the left toes back. You're in a plank. Take the feet to the side so that your hips are open towards the left, towards the weight. Chest is squared off. You press down into the right hand, pull the left elbow in, open full side plank, press that weight overhead. Bend with control, take it back down. Now press out of that right palm, pike the hips, reach the left arm through to the right ankle. Okay, so you press out of that bottom palm, open up, and then take it back down. And then pike the hips, feel abdominals, press through that right arm, reach left arm through and under. Open up. So much support here. If you ever need to take a break out of it, you can. Piking the hips. Trying to avoid using momentum here. Beautiful job. Can we do two more? Opening up, feeling the back, row that weight. If you ever need to drop it down and just use body weight, Do that. Last one. And reach. Meet me back in that side plank. Take the weight if you'd like. We pulse it up and up. You can do this. Shoulders roll down and back. Give me 4 and 3. Last 2 and 1. Take that weight down. Walk that right leg in. Left leg bends back. We reach up and over. Side bend mermaid. Maybe we find some flexion, threading the needle. Releasing through upper body. And then up and over. We reach the other side, right? That lifting side. Both sides were working in different ways there. And open and come back. Of course, we've got to do it on the other side and then we're done. So I want you to keep that energy with me. We're going to take our left foot forward this time, right leg back, watch that balance. And then we'll take the weight in the right hand. You're upright to start, and then you'll start to find that hinge. Hinge the bum back, long spine, rolling shoulders down and back. Maybe that left forearm comes to left front of thigh. We're starting with that narrow row. All right, should feel like a breeze compared to what we know is coming. Although sometimes these more foundational positions are much more challenging in a different way, right? Mentally, to find the engagement and not get distracted because they don't require too much focus, right? You know, that plank and pike combo, it's almost like you don't have time to think about how challenging it is because you're just focused on the movement. Whereas here, it can be easy to get sidetracked, as I am right now as I chatter away. All right, let's do 2 more. Hugging that elbow in. Last one, hold that hug. Shoulders still down and back. We open the elbow wide and then hug the elbow in. The emphasis in this direction is wide and then let it just glide back in naturally. Feel that press wide. You'll feel a little bit of that posterior deltoid. Back, top of the shoulder, lighting up. Okay, give me 2. And 1, holding it wide now, lowering the arm down and then pulling wide. If it doesn't feel good for your shoulder to be super wide like this, you can go somewhere in between, like a 45-degree angle. Being careful with the shoulders here, all right? If they feel pinchy at all, play around with your range of motion and also lighten up your weight. Give me 3. Woo, last 2. Find that pause at the top always. Core is still engaged. Last 1, holding it. Hug the elbow in and then let it glide back out. Emphasis on the hug in and glide out. Feeling lat, feeling serratus as you hug it in. Inhale wide. Connecting to breath, I'm in it today. Last one, we hold that hug. Hug, hug, hug as you come upright. Weight comes to the right shoulder. Pressing right arm overhead and then back down. Here we've got hips and ribs stacked. Head is on top. Okay, watching what happens to those front ribs. They want to puff out as you press the arm overhead. Try to keep them in. Try to keep that right elbow hugged in, narrow towards the body. Using lat and serratus as you press up and down through this right arm. It's not just shoulder. For 2. Can we hold it up on this last one? Hold, stabilize the shoulder. Start to rotate open towards the right. Left hand maybe reaches towards the mat. And maybe you look up at the weight and then rotate back. You can take that left arm out into a T. Start to rotate, thread it through, reach towards the floor. Maybe you find a peek up. You don't have to, right? I want you to drop this weight. If you feel insecure at all here, or unstable, or like it's coming up into the neck, okay? Whew, can we do one more? Last one, use those obliques, bend it in with control. Place that weight down on the mat. We are not done here, right? So walking that left foot back, both hands planted. Wipe the sweat off if you need. And then we lift up through the core, finding our plank. We're going to take the feet, take the hips, twist them towards the right side. So you're in this twisted plank. Chest is squared off. Then we start to row that right elbow to open everything to the right into your side plank. Hug the elbow in and take the chest down towards the mat. Reach the right hand off the weight towards left ankle. Coming back down. Rowing right arm. And lower. Taking that chest, squaring it off, pike through the hips, press through that left hand. One side might feel a little different than the other. No matter what, we are finding support through that bottom side arm. This is the last thing we're gonna do today in this class. And I know it's challenging, but I wouldn't put it in if I didn't think you could do it. So here we are. Modify as you need, maybe drop the weight when it gets challenging. But we've only got one more after this. Hand is slipping. All right, last one. We open up and bend in, lower it down. We find that pike and then press back. Meet me in your side plank. We pulse the hips up and up. This is it. We've got 4 and 3. Yes, you can too. And 1. Place it back down with control. Hug that left leg in. Holy, does that feel good? Z shape with the legs, reaching up and over. And then thread it under. Rounding through the spine as well. Some nice opening through sides of waist. And then we'll undo that thread. Take it over to the other side, finding a nice side bend. And then thread the needle. Okay, both sides working. I'm gonna feel those tomorrow. I hope you will too. I can already tell.